Welcome back to Derailed. I am your host, JJ Lahey, here with my good friend, Jake Schyvinck. We got some of the boys in the chat already. Got Chris, the casual N, saying I'd rather be 120 minutes early than 1 minute late. Appreciate you, Chris. That's exactly the right mindset that you need for Ed Policy Day. Now, Ed Policy Day was yesterday. We tried to go live yesterday. Something came up. Couldn't do it. But I still partied hard. I hope that all the rest of you did as well. Oh, we got Aspendale Farm in the chat saying hi, fellas. Aspendale Farm. That's my mama. Mama, how's it going? I got my beverage. All right. Jake, did you celebrate Ed Policy Day like a good red-blooded American?
Absolutely. As much as physically possible. And I'm excited to dive into all of that and more on Ed Policy Day today in the belated fashion. Very excited about it, and I got a couple surprises up the sleeve here. JJ, I don't even think knows about what's going on, so we'll figure out when to reveal that.
Anything.
Okay, we'll figure out when we're gonna do this, but
I'm excited. I did. So I kind of partied all weekend for Ed Policy Day. My daughter painted pictures of fireworks for Ed Policy Day, and she wore her Packers dress. We had burgers. We had brat burgers. Roasted up some great pork. Had a good time. I have, of course, my spotted cow.
Oh, there it is.
Now, many of you remember I don't live in the great state of Wisconsin, but my mom just visited and she brought me a pack. So, cheers, Mama. Thank you.
There we go.
So we're celebrating in style. Dershel says he partied with the new redacted flavor. Would not recommend it. I wondered. So Dershel sent me a picture of the new flavor of redacted energy that he found. It was a Bubblicious like dragon fruit or something. What was it? Hold on, I got the
Bubblicious dragon fruit. That's a thing.
Here it is. Here's the picture. It's what is that?
My goodness.
Cotton candy. Bubblicious cotton candy. And I was mega iffy about it. And so Dershel said he'd take one for the team and try it. He says it's not worth it. So.
Oh,
we got Drew in the chat. Welcome, Drew. Thank you. Drew, how did you celebrate Ed Policy Day? Drew says dragon fruit sounds good and always disappoints. Yeah. The one dragon fruit thing that is good, what are those called? High chews? High chews? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think that's right.
Jake?
I think that's what they're called. Yes.
All right. I got the picture. I'm gonna share my screen. Here we go. High chews. That's not what I was trying to share. Glad that didn't share.
No.
Here we go. High chew. So this candy right here. There we go. Now it's on screen. The dragon fruit flavor of high chew is pretty good. And here actually,
I've had the dragon.
So you see this kiwi one right here?
Yeah.
This is like crazy good. The kiwi.
It looks good.
Where's the dragon?
It looks very good.
Mango I like. Grape I'm not a fan of. Would not recommend that one. Watermelon. I didn't know I had watermelon. Let's see. Haichu. Dragon fruit. I do know I like this one though. There we go. Check that out. So that's pretty darn good. So there you go. There's your weekly promo that we give to a brand who doesn't pay us money. Because we're always looking for sponsors. I did ask the energy drink company who shall not be named to sponsor us, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So pretty sad about that. So Adam Huddle says he's hopefully seeing F1 on Saturday. That looks pretty good. And I really enjoyed Ford versus Ferrari when it came out a couple years ago. That was a good one too.
Yes, that.
Jake, did you see that one?
I have seen that. I love it. It. Everybody was passing around those like top 10 favorite or best or however you wanted to approach it movies of the 21st century. And I put Ford versus Ferrari on my list. I loved it.
Wow.
I really, really enjoy that movie. So I want to see F1 as well. That is on the list this summer. No question.
Actually, I haven't seen people debating the top 10. What is it, the top 10 21st century?
Yeah. So like people, I think the New York Times was doing like a readers poll that you could submit your 10, and they would kind of put the readers together. And I know they're going through their own list as well.
Okay.
So
Well, I kind of want to fill this out then. I would definitely have to include the first Madagascar movie on there.
okay, I have mine. I could share it on the screen.
Yeah, let's see.
I can
Let's
share
see
it on the screen. All right, let's do that. Let's
There's not much that's more patriotic on Ed Policy Day than than ranking things.
then ranking things. It's true.
Oh man, can you make your window a lot narrower? I'll hide the. Then no, can you make it narrow?
Maybe. Hang on.
If you make it narrower, it'll fill the. It'll
Let me
stretch up taller.
Yeah, let me do it again, and then I will
In the meantime,
mess with it before.
Drew says, "Did you guys know that Antonio Freeman plays soccer for the U.S. men's national team?" I had no idea. I don't watch any soccer, hardly at all. I saw one professional soccer game in person, and then I watched the first couple seasons of Ted Lasso. And that is my entire exposure to soccer. But I love Antonio Freeman. Oh, no, Drew says it's not Antonio Freeman, it's Antonio Freeman's son. Okay. F1 has a lot of Days of Thunder elements, but don't go in expecting it to be an amazing movie. Ford versus Ferrari was good as well. I would say Ford versus Ferrari was an amazing movie. Ford versus Ferrari is one of my higher rated Christian Bale performances. I thought he was just fantastic in that.
Yeah, he did. He was awesome.
Dershel says any list without the Prestige doesn't count. I need to give the Prestige another shot.
That's interesting.
I need to give the Prestige another shot. I saw the first like 20 minutes. I just didn't get sucked in. So I think the problem is I don't enjoy magic. Like, illusions, sleight of hands type stuff. Like that's not interesting to me. So I think that was why I had a hard time getting sucked in. All right, this is still pretty small, but so are these ranked or is it just the top 10 in no order?
I just put 10 on there. Yes.
Okay, so Ford versus Ferrari, Parasite. I didn't see Parasite.
It's very good.
Okay, I'm putting that on my list.
Very good.
Inception, also on my list. Too old for this. Recommended Sinners, and I haven't seen that yet, but I have it in my possession now, so I need to watch that.
I've not seen that.
Inception is good. Here's my thing with Inception, though. I will say, I think that you need to have a long gap in between viewings because the movie is repetitive enough that if you see it close together, I think it gets monotonous. But if it's been 5 or 10 years since you've seen it, it's crazy good. You have Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King on here. Now, remind me, did Fellowship come out pre-2000? Is that like 99?
No. I don't know.
Because I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but I would rank The Two Towers significantly ahead of Return of the King.
It's fair.
But I certainly would include The Two Towers on my list. I would have a hard time not including all three of them on my list.
I know.
But I probably would.
I decided I couldn't. I decided no multiple of a series. That was like my one caveat that I did for this. Because I would have also done the same thing. I would have put all three of them on here for sure. But I just kept one on there.
Drew says, if I can be a party pooper, Remember the Titans, which came out in 2000, is technically a 20th century. The 21st century doesn't begin until 2001. I am asking perplexity. Is the year 2000 considered 20th or
tough.
21st century? And Perplexity says, it's taking a long time to think about it. The year 2000 is considered part of the 20th century. The 20th century includes the years 1901 through 2000. The 21st century began on January 1st, 2001. This is because there's no year 0 in the Gregorian calendar. That is interesting.
I do find that interesting. Of course, we would, coming up with a great language that we have in English, we would also include in a different century something that starts with a 2 with everything else that starts with 19. That doesn't shock me that we're that stupid. Yes, that doesn't shock me at all. Doesn't shock me.
Adam
Too
Hunt.
bad it was
Huddle.
on there. It was if it wasn't, if it was 99 or before, you couldn't search for it. So it's on there. Too bad.
Okay.
Tough. Party still goes on.
I'm surprised you're digging in on this because I would think that you would
Party's
be
going on.
Relieved to have an excuse to go grab an 11th movie to include in here.
That's okay.
Like we just gave you a nice little loophole.
That's
all right, we have quite a bunch of comments to catch up on here. Gershel says any list without the Prestige doesn't count. Chris N asks if I like Ford versus Ferrari better than American Psycho. No, I mean obviously American Psycho is the better film of Christian Bale's, but it's like two drastically different versions of Christian Bale. So you can love both of them. I would put them both, in the S tier of Bale films. Let's see. Daryl RO. Wait, where's RO? Respect Oranges? Where's Respect Oranges?
I don't know.
The world?
But I don't know why you put that up on the screen.
Sorry, I didn't realize I clicked it. Dershel says Parasite. I didn't read it out loud, at least. Dershel says Parasite might be the most underrated award-winning movie ever. All right, fine. I'll put it on my freaking list and we'll watch it. Inception is unreal domination. What domination? It's a great movie. Mafi is here for Jake's 2026 draft hot takes. I'm guessing that's probably what Jake was teasing earlier, that he said he had something cooked up for a special.
Nope,
I'm guessing
that's actually not it, believe it or not.
Oh, 27. We're getting 27 draft hot takes then.
Well, maybe.
Huddle agrees with Remember the Titans being on the list. And he also agrees with me that Two Towers is better than Return, but both are great. Huddle, what do you think about Rings of Power? Because I have debated this with people till I was blue in the face. I really like Rings of Power.
I think it's fun. Yeah, I have no problems, no qualms.
There's a lot of people who can't get over the shifting of the timeline, and I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing.
Star Wars has shifted their timelines 15 billion times. We mad that they did it a little?
You have to compress the timeline in order for it to work well on film. Like congratulations that the chronology of everything. Great. Props to you for being highly educated about it. But do you honestly expect people to sit through just these massive gaps in the linear timeline that is not going to work on screen? I just don't.
I just feel like no matter what, people will find a way to complain about something for sure. I feel like there's just no way. This is we're getting truly derailed on belated ed
we're
policy
giving the people
right now.
We're giving the people a gift. All right, for Ed Policy Day, we're giving people some movie talk. Dershel says, in honor of Too Old for This, rest in power. Rest in concussion protocol. Godzilla deserves to sneak in. Here's the question, though. Which Godzilla movie? That's the tough thing. I would say
that's tough.
Now I'm conflicted. Like I was about to say which one I thought it was, and
I got to go back to the film room. Literally, I'm going back. We got to re-rank those. We'll do it. We'll do that on another show.
I feel like we re-ranked it just like 5 months ago, didn't we?
We did, but it feels too long.
I think I'm gonna cast my vote for Godzilla -1. think that's got to be the answer. But
yeah,
man, there's some good ones in there. -1 is going to be my answer. But
okay.
Honestly, all of them.
We got agreement
except
right
for
here.
the only one that doesn't agree, or the only one that doesn't have any place, is Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's like 2019 or something. That was the one with 11 from Stranger Things. Horrific movie, just awful. The only good part of that entire movie.
That was 2019. That seems wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did not realize that.
Yeah, the only good part of that movie was when Ghidorah is on top of the volcano and he
that's sick. Yes.
roars and he does like the triple like echo thing. So it's like a 3-second long clip. And that was the only good part of the entire movie.
I did like Ghidorah dropping Godzilla from space. From literal space was pretty sick, honestly.
I mean, all right.
Just for the scale.
All the fights are good. All the fights are good.
Sure,
but the plot of that movie was just...
Oh, no, yeah.
And the acting was... And the pacing was...
Yeah,
they should have just removed the plot entirely and just had it be
given us the 20
fight.
minutes of the... Yeah.
Drew says, I like the conspiracy theorist podcaster in Godzilla vs. Kong, and the Hollow Earth was amazing. Yeah, that was fun.
No complaints for Godzilla vs. Kong if that's your answer there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Looks like we have a couple different votes for Godzilla -1. Godzilla vs. Kong has a vote. Adam Huddle asks, honestly, haven't watched Rings of Power. Is it worth watching? I really like it a lot.
It seems pretty
really
split from the hosts in the chat.
I think you have to decide for yourself if you want to have fun or if you want to be mad. And some people just want to be mad. So if you want to be mad, then don't watch it. If you want to have fun, then watch it. All right. I think we're caught up on everything. Then back to your list.
Back to the list.
I have not seen Midway. Dark Knight obviously is worthy of being on here.
Yep.
Rogue Nation obviously worthy of being on here. Although, as you know,
of course for you,
I think I ranked it third. Did I rank it third on my list? It was either third or fourth. I really loved it.
You went 375 or did you go 357? I don't remember.
I thought I went 3.
Or did you go 4?
7. 3754. 3754 were the top.
That sounds right. Okay.
Top list.
We'll have to go double check, but that sounds right. Yeah, I think you were pretty high on 7. Yeah.
I do have a request in the chat. I really need to hear how you guys celebrated Ed Policy Day.
That's true.
I'm a little bit disappointed that we haven't already gotten some. I appreciate you showing up to the live stream, but
we got.
Also thought you were gonna, celebrate Ed Policy Day. Don't leave me hanging. I celebrated hardcore for 3 days. We went out on the boat, smoked some stogies, had some bonfires, played with the kids, ran around, got ice cream, went for a couple hikes, made brat burgers, beef burgers. We had turkey burgers, the whole shebang. So my wife made this crack pasta, which is freaking amazing. Did I like the Godzilla movie in '98 with Matthew Broderick? I liked it because of Matthew Broderick. That thing was not Godzilla. That thing was just a T-Rex. It's a good movie.
It is. Actually.
It's certainly not a Godzilla movie.
But it's not much better than King of the Monsters. So question.
Yeah. It's a great movie. It's just not a Godzilla movie. So But I'm also not going to sit there while I'm watching and be like, oh, that's stupid. That's not Godzilla. I'm just not going to rank it. That's all. If you're asking me to put together a list of Godzilla movies and rank
we're going to have to do it eventually. Again,
I'll give it a rating. I just won't rank it among other Godzilla movies because it's not a Godzilla movie.
There you go. Coach agrees with you.
Here's the thing. I freaking love Matthew Broderick. You're hard pressed to find a Matthew Broderick movie that I'm not going to sit there and enjoy.
I'm looking it up now just in case there's one I didn't think of yet that I don't enjoy. I had to look them up. So far I don't see anything.
He's even great in Lion King. Yeah, Inspector Gadget, Tier 1. Yeah,
yes,
he's just the best.
Inspector Gadget.
Lion King, okay, I mean, obviously, why are we discussing Lion King in the year of our Lord 2025? But
I mean,
that's one of those movies you go back and it's like shocking how star-studded that cast is.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
it's crazy.
They even had Benson, Robert Guillaume, playing Rafiki, like one of the most minor characters in the whole thing.
That's right. It
was crazy good. So we have a couple of fun things.
Yes, we do.
To do tonight.
So you haven't seen the Midway's the one. Midway and Parasite you haven't seen, right? Those are the two on there you haven't seen.
I've seen everything else on here. I don't know what Midnight or Parasite are even about.
Midway is about World War II, right? Battle Midway.
That figures. Yeah. That figures.
Mm-hmm. Parasite, I think you will enjoy it. I do.
All right.
As a betting man, I have good money on that.
2019.
2019. I have 4 movies from 2019 on here.
That was a good year for movies, and
it was.
Then that was kind of the last year for good movies for a while.
Yeah, which fair. I mean, it's the last good a lot of things for a while, as they say.
So I put it on my list. So I currently have 5 movies on my watch list. One of them is the 2024 live action Mufasa. So that's funny.
Oh, there you go.
I keep forgetting about that.
There you go.
So, all right.
Making sure that's here we go. We can get that out of there.
All right, so we got
if you want that link to put your list together, let me know on Twitter and I'll do that for you.
Yeah, if you'll DM that list to me, I want to put together my list and I'll share it with you. Maybe I won't share it with you. Maybe I will save it for next week.
There you go.
And let the chat see it. Unless chat, if you don't want to see it, let me know. Mama says The Secret Life of Walter Mitty deserves consideration. That's a freaking good movie.
That's good. There's I'm telling you, when you start putting it together, it's tough. It's hard to do. I sat around for like 30, 35 minutes, like looking for is this too, there were so many that were so close to the century mark that you look up and you go, oh, it's not there. So it must be 98, 99, something like that. So it's quite good.
I feel like before next week, I need to watch the movie Paddington 2 because I have heard from every human on the planet that Paddington 2 is elite. Now, I didn't see the first Paddington. I read some of the books when I was a kid. I did not see the first Paddington movie, but everybody says that Paddington 2 is the most underrated film of all time. So I feel like I need to watch it before I put this together.
I haven't seen it. I've seen the first one, but I've not seen the second one. So
Daryl Asian says new movies nowadays just ain't cutting it, especially if they remake the original movie that was recently filmed. Here's the thing. I'm kind of always down to try something.
Oh yeah.
I certainly have my beefs, but if something is well written and well acted, I can look past, some iffy special effects. I'm a huge special effects buff. I just nerd out on compositing and everything, and really get super geeked about rendering and practical effects and puppetry and dolls and all that stuff. And I can ignore all that if you can put together good writing and good acting. The story doesn't even have to be that good. Well, you can. Some of the best movies ever had no story at all, but the conversational writing was just god tier. Drew says this upcoming Superman movie is made by James Gunn, who made Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker, and some other big movies. I think Drew's the one who said he was looking forward to that. And then Dershel said that Paddington 2 is a top 5 sequel ever, which is kind of a low bar. There's not a lot of good sequels out there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up. I had to remind myself.
Dershel had right here. He's got it.
And I think these are really good right here. Terminator 2 is definitely one of them. Yeah, Terminator 2 is a guarantee.
Terminator 2, now Paddington 2 notwithstanding, since I haven't seen it, Terminator 2 is the only inclusion on this list that I was at all iffy about in terms of it's deserving of being in the top 5.
Paddington 2. I love that.
All right.
I think it has to.
Jake,
Also, I
wait,
also
hold
would
on.
like to say
Hold
it
on.
has to be
Gun
a
to your
second
head.
film. It has to be a second film. Like
Sure,
I know
yes, it has to be
some
number
of them.
two.
Some of
Has
them
to
are
be number
saying
2.
like the third Harry Potter movie, which I would
No,
agree with that
gotta
it's
be a number
better.
2.
I would agree that it's better, right? I think it's a great movie relative to the first two, but it's not a sequel. We've gone past it. We can't. So yeah, it has to be the second movie. Otherwise, Mission Impossibles would all count, and then
This is
we'd
what
be
I
here
wanted to
for
ask you.
a long time.
This is what I wanted to ask you. So, gun to your head. So you have not seen Paddington 2, right?
No. Mm-mm.
So gun to your head. If you had to include as the 5th best sequel of all time, either Paddington 2 or Mission Impossible 2,
Well,
you don't get any other choices.
I mean, I would guess it would be, I would guess it would be Paddington 2. Just based on what everybody else is saying about it, right? Like, I do love all the other inclusions. I was trying to think of another one that, gosh, Paddington 2 is 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's nuts. I could get down with Catching Fire, Hunger Games. I could see that. I don't know about the second Sherlock Holmes. That seems, not that I didn't like it, but I don't think that's better. Winter Soldier was a great inclusion. Yeah, Empire. Yeah, this
But
list
Godfather
is
2.
Godfather 2. That's
2?
the one I wasn't thinking of. Yeah, that's right.
I got one I want to
the one
replace
that would be
Terminator
on
2
there. Okay.
I'm going to Empire Strikes Back. This is not in order, but Empire Strikes Back, Two Towers, Winter Soldier, The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's clever. Oh.
And Spider-Man 2. The Doc Ock one.
Oh. Ooh. Yeah. That's Dark Knight that's a great shout because it does count. Wow. John Wick 2, says Coach Len.
I contemplated like Toy Story 2, and then Drew said Aliens, which is certainly Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is
I haven't seen
is S tier. It's S tier, but I'm putting it below the 5 I just said for sure.
Man, really? Okay, I know people like that. I have not. I started watching it like 10 minutes in, and the internet cut out. I need to finish Top Gun Maverick. Indiana Jones ones are interesting. That's another one I think that was brought up.
Coach, Last Crusade is part 3. Part 2 is Temple of Doom.
That's right. So, it is.
Look at this. Look at this. Too old for this is underailing us. He says, "Happy Ed Policy Day."
Are we getting into ed policy now? Is that what we're doing? Are we going that direction? Are we
too old for this. Underailed us.
Are we going that direction?
Too old for this. You got referenced already a couple times. Oh, I just remembered.
Is that a segment we're doing?
X2. X-Men United.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
That's like number 6 or 7.
Oh, I didn't think about that at all. Interesting. Yeah, when you search some of these, when you search sequels better, they're bringing up, as I said earlier, they're bringing up third movies and fourth ones.
Yeah,
we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. So,
would you disagree with Empire Strikes Back being the single best sequel of all time? Because I will die on that hill.
If you're including Dark Knight, no. But I think
you think Dark Knight is better than Empire.
Yeah, I would probably have it higher.
Can we say 1A, 1B?
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that. I'm good with that. I probably would have said it if you hadn't that jogged my memory of Dark Knight because it just doesn't like have. That's such a good one. Yeah, there is a boatload of Batman movies, but that was that trilogy.
Right? Christopher Nolan trilogy. It certainly is a standalone. It's not.
Yeah. And like Tom Holland Spider-Man movies would also be the second one. with Mysterio would be a sequel to the first one. It's just
It'd be a terrible sequel.
It wasn't good. But, that would be one. Ooh, look at this. Look at Tool for this. Ed Policy is the Lord of the Rings
of trilogies.
That's what we're doing.
I like that because Mark Murphy is the Star Wars of trilogies. He's the gift that keeps on giving.
There you go.
So we did have a few things prepared to talk about tonight that are football related.
Are we doing the Ed Policy segment yet? Are we doing that first? Are we going to wait till the end? Are we going to?
Well, the chat's not talking about what they did for Ed Policy Day. I already talked about what I did for Ed Policy Day. I don't know where to go with this. Do you have something to talk about for Ed Policy Day? I would love it if you do.
There's not something to talk about necessarily, but I have something that if we're going to really kind of cap this, if we're going to cap the celebration at the end, then I'll leave it at the end.
No, let's do it now. I want to see what you got. And maybe it'll inspire the chat to.
No, I think we got to do it at the end. Okay. I think it works. It was either going to work right at the beginning or right at the end.
So anybody who does not show up right at the beginning of our podcast, you maybe don't know our theme song.
Yes.
Which is called The Legend of Ed Policy.
It is called
what'd you say?
It is called that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was working all week on a music video for it, and I just couldn't get it done in time, but it'll be delivered eventually. Maybe for next week.
There we go.
Honestly, can I admit something? I was partying too hard celebrating Ed Policy Day to finish my Ed Policy music video. That's actually the truth.
That's fair. That's the only excuse I'll give. Not even watching a Godzilla movie could get you out of that. But partying too hard for Ed Policy Day definitely counts as an excuse.
Tool for this says, so modern Disney Star Wars is what happens if Mark Murphy stays past 70. Let's just not find out what happens if Mark Murphy stays past 70.
What do we count modern? Rogue One and Andor count? If so,
I think so. I mean, there's
are good.
There's some good and there's some bad. There's Rogue One and there's The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
There's
Andor and there's
that one Star Wars show that I didn't watch.
Acolyte. You're talking about?
I was looking forward to that, and then I was busy the first day it came out, and I got on Twitter and people were just lighting it up and saying it was like the worst thing ever, and I was like, I sat through Rise of Skywalker. I don't need any more bad Star Wars, so I'm just gonna trust the crowd on this one. I never watched it.
Yeah, but everybody makes mistakes,
No, George Lucas did not give us the Star Wars
those days.
Holiday special. That never happened. He spent a lot of money to make sure that it doesn't exist anymore, except for that one YouTube video. Tool for this wants to know why there was no show yesterday. Yeah, something came up.
Oh no!
Can't say what. It wasn't on my end this time.
Oh my gosh! Oh, this is really good. Tyler Dershel somehow
Tool for this return.
Gosh, that's good. That's good.
Ted Thompson gave us Star Trek Discovery. Mark Murphy doesn't need to give us new Star Wars. All right. Love our chat. Our chat is just
popping. This is what we needed it to be.
So Drew wants to talk about the blockbuster trade between the Dolphins and the Steelers. I'm just going to come out and say this is the worst NFL trade since the Deshaun Watson trade. I can't think of another one that's happened since then. That was
Brock Osweiler.
That was way before.
Give us. We will give your second. You can have our second. Just take him. Is perhaps the most comical of them. Yeah, this was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. So the Steelers traded like roughly about the top 5 best safety in the NFL, and a 6th round pick for Jalen freaking Ramsey in the year of our Lord 2025, Jonnu Smith, and a 7th round pick. So they gave up the better pick and the better player for a washed up Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith.
It is a 5th round for a 7th round. So the pick swap is a 2-round
What?
up pick swap. It is a 2-round up pick swap.
What?
Yes.
That is disgusting. I have a dear friend of mine who's a huge Steelers fan, and I told him that it was a 6th. I think he has been
Probably
like
better that he doesn't know.
I think he's got his
It's
therapist
probably
on
better.
speed dial right now. I'm a little concerned that he might be looking for nearby bridges right now. It's awful.
May I say that if there's anything to glean from this, it's this. Draft Caleb Johnson in your fantasy leagues. That's the deal. Do it. They might be in 13 personnel running the ball with Washington, Freiermuth, and Jonnu. And DK's just the X. Like that, I'm dead serious. They probably are going to be doing that. So draft Caleb Johnson. If you learn nothing else from this pod today.
There was also a follow-up trade. The Dolphins this morning traded with the Giants for the retired Darren Waller. And look, I don't ever turn on the TV and listen to the talking heads on, all the stupid shows. I don't even know what shows there are because I don't watch them. I never have. I'm sure that they are hyping up this Darren Waller thing as though it's actually meaningful. This is wild that they even did this.
I feel like they already have Nick.
Hold
Westbrook
on. Coach Len
McKinney.
says Ramsey provides some versatility in the secondary.
I think they're going to try to play him some safety. I'm pretty sure
they're going to have to.
So,
but they're downgrading from like roughly the 6th best safety in the league, probably ish, depending on
I would think
like, I'm not far off by calling him the 6th.
No, I think
for a converted, washed up Jalen Ramsey who hasn't been good. He hasn't been good since like his second to last year with the Rams. He fell off before he went to Miami.
That's why they let him. Yeah, that's why they let him go.
I mean, the Rams were trying like the Dickens a year before they end up moving on from him to find a trade partner stupid enough to take him because he was already washed.
Whoa.
This is just such a dumb move. I don't know what Omar Khan is doing over there in Pittsburgh, but the only thing that makes any sense to me is that maybe there's something wrong with Minka. I'm just saying that because we've seen the Steelers move on from players who we didn't know were locker room cancers until they left Pittsburgh. It's like several times now.
They've done it.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Perhaps they've done it twice. Yeah, this offseason.
It's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, PFF was not kind to Minka Fitzpatrick this last year.
He's still worth more than Jalen Ramsey. Jalen's terrible at this point.
Probably.
You know what?
So
I'm not even sure that I would want Jalen Ramsey on the Packers, and you know that I think our cornerback room is trash.
No, I'd probably take him. I'd probably take him.
Would you trade? Trying to think who would be the best comp for Minka on our team.
Based on last season?
Yeah, based on last season.
There's a close
based on
comp,
the last 2 seasons. That's good.
Oh, it has to be 2?
Well, roughly that much.
That's fair.
Two over this says, would you trade Xavier McKinney? Oh, wait. Drew says, yeah, neither one of these teams wanted Jaire. I mean,
no, the team that's better in the division wanted Jaire instead of Pittsburgh. Shocking, let me tell you. Listen, I think. Yeah, I mean Miami. No.
I do have another thing for us to do here.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade Xavier McKinney for Minka. No way. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I asked on Twitter. I asked the lovely fans to rate each of our defensive tackles and each of our cornerbacks. Because I just wanted to see where the fan base was at.
Baltimore ate him for lunch, Minka, last year. It's tough. Actually, it seems all the good teams did, which is kind of tough to look at here. Other than maybe, I don't know, I guess Kansas City, Cincinnati late in the season, but I don't know.
All right, so he's not the 6th best safety in the league.
I mean, before this year, yeah, I think, again, it's PFF grades. It's one part of the equation. I know he's maybe been a little bit unhappy of what the defense is doing for his role specifically. So, again, that could be part of the trade as well. But
I just don't know what Jalen Ramsey brings to their defense.
A slot corner.
Like, to me, this trade is more understandable about Jonnu Smith than it is about Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. The Jonnu thing made sense. They were trying to do that for a while. They want him there. This Arthur Smith loves Jonnu
They
Smith.
made a bunch of offers for Jonnu.
Yeah, so it's not shocking. It was more shocking. It was like when Ramsey got announced first, it was like, oh, wait, it's not Jonnu, huh? They didn't get Jonnu. They got Ramsey instead, and lo and behold, it's both. Listen, I don't know if either of these teams are making the playoffs, so it kind of feels like a moot point to even, dive heavily into this trade, right? Like I do feel like
I don't feel like I have my finger on the pulse of where the Dolphins are right now. I hadn't considered they have like fallen off to that point.
I don't know. They've at least now tried again with building the trenches a little bit more in the draft, but like, I don't know. I think they're just poor commitments at offensive line have just continued to catch up with them. Like Pittsburgh, it was catching up with them a few years ago, and they've decided to spend a bunch of capital there, which they should have been doing for a long time. And I feel like Miami's in that boat that Pittsburgh was in. So
that makes sense.
And there's this. And Tua, you just hope is and pray is going to be healthy, which is the other problem with not addressing offensive line and making it a massive priority. So yeah, I don't know. And Coach Lynn asking if Ramsey will play in the slot. He definitely will. They're going to have Porter and Slay be their perimeter guys, and Ramsey will probably play slots and maybe rotate to some box safety as well. So they're probably going to do a lot of that. They extended Deshaun Elliott, so I know they want him to be a major factor on the back end. So
Thornhill,
I do think that's
Thornhill and Elliott,
yeah,
and then Slay, Porter, and Ramsey, and I think that Slay and Ramsey are both like just north of terrible right now.
Slay, it was. I mean, Philly reloaded, right? Mitchell, DeJean, and said, "Yeah, we're good. We don't need Slay anymore." And I feel like if arguably, maybe not put him at the top, but arguably the best GM in football right now. If they're moving on, they know, they know it's time. So. Yeah, it does feel like a very Aaron Rodgers-y roster right now with some bets on there.
Dershel says Musgrave for Washington. Who says no? I mean, I'm like kind of fine with it, I guess. I'd obviously would rather have Freiermuth, but I wouldn't hate adding Washington. He's turned into a pretty nice blocker.
6th O-line. Let Kraft cook as a pass catcher. It would at least give you that. But yes, I would also prefer Freiermuth because I feel it's way more interchangeable, and it makes your offense very fun. Staying in 12 with those two guys.
The problem
because Washington doesn't
is that Jonnu is obviously not a Freiermuth replacement. He's a Darnell Washington replacement.
Well, no, he won't block.
Jonnu blocks. You don't like Jonnu as a blocker?
No. I mean, there's a reason Miami was using him as a receiver, in the quick game and all that stuff, because he's just not like he's built to be a big receiver. Definitely built for that part of the game. No question. They have Washington and Freiermuth to block. They're going to use Jonnu in 13 as their quote unquote wide receiver 2. And
Look,
That's what
I
some
would
of
take
this is gonna look
Fryermuth. I
like.
just don't think that you can. I think it would take a lot to go get him.
Oh yeah.
First of all, they're not doing a Musgrave for Fryermuth swap. That
No.
even the guy who just
They
traded
need a nice
Minka
pick for
and a
that.
fifth for Janu and Jaylen is not falling for that.
They need a nice pick for that. Yeah.
I think Fryermuth is probably a fifth, maybe a fourth. He's probably a fourth. What would you say?
What? Just
Fryermuth, fourth round pick.
worth a
Fourth
fourth
or fifth?
Yeah, I mean, he signed a 4-year, $48.4 million extension last
That's
year.
that's a fourth round pick.
They're paying him pretty hefty. Yeah, I don't think it could be any higher. But yeah, they're going to have to. If Green Bay was going to try to make that move and add Musgrave to the deal, they would definitely have to add a pick of that caliber. So,
Jake, you had a request for something we could do tonight, and that was a return of something that we had a lot of fun with a year ago, which was the wheel of blind ranking.
yes.
So I have this pulled up.
Really quick, two quick things here. Coach Lynn, just because it's a final point, we've been talking about all the tight ends. He asked, would you trade Musgrave for Michael Mayer in Vegas?
What do you mean, would you? What does would you mean?
He asked, would you? Would you do that? Yes.
Oh, no, he said yes. Musgrave and LVN.
No, Too Old for This did say that. Coach Lynn said Musgrave for Mayer.
Would you trade Musgrave for Myers?
He meant Mayer. I know. It's got to be who that is.
This is like, would I
or
trade
is it Jacoby?
Malik?
Or did he talk about Jacoby Myers?
Would I trade Malik Willis for Patrick Mahomes? Like, Mayer is freaking elite, and Musgrave, I don't think has a role on his team.
No, Mayer's not elite. You thinking of his teammate?
Who's his teammate?
Bowers.
I am thinking of Bowers.
Yeah.
So I
Mayer's
I don't know. I don't
fine.
know Mayer.
He's going to give you more inline stuff than Musgrave would, which again, allows.
I have zero opinion on Michael Mayer because
how's our guy to cook?
I was picturing Brock Bowers.
I know, that's fair. That's totally fair. Tight end for the Raiders. That's where you got to go.
Here you go.
So
12 for this says Musgrave for Bowers. Yeah, you could talk me into it. You could. I guess I would do it. You could talk me into it.
What else are the Raiders giving me? Genty as well.
Throw a sweetener in there.
Yeah, a little Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. I will say, I have something else we could talk about too that was sent to me a little bit ago. But let's go to Coach Lynn was talking about Mayer. I forgot about Jacoby Myers, and I was wondering if that's what he was talking about as well. But I feel like our receiver room is pretty full. Yeah, Mayer made more sense because I thought Miami would go after Mayer because of the hole at tight end. So they went after Darren Waller, which is kind of adding Jonnu Smith, but not as good. I don't know. As I briefly said, I don't know what Waller does at his age right now that Nick Westbrook-Akine isn't going to give that team, essentially. So, yeah, I don't know. Miami's offense seemed to be better when they could run the ball better out of the sets that they could get into the quick passing game, which meant having an inline tight end who can block like at a really high level. And they really don't have that. It's going to be like Julian Hill this year, which, yeah. Anyway, we've talked a lot about Miami and Pittsburgh.
Very exciting teams.
Yes, of course.
Of course. The two 7-9 AFC teams that we only play one of them this year. We don't play the Dolphins this year, do we?
No, played them last year. Embarrassed them Thanksgiving night. That was Jacobs carry the turkey off the field. Love that.
That was one of the better games of the year. Maybe the best game of the year. Here we have the wheel of blind ranking. So this is brought back by special request of Mr. Jake Schyvinck. So if you weren't here for it last year, if you weren't here for last year, we're gonna spin the wheel. Jake has to slot the team that it lands on somewhere 1 through 5 and predict where they're going to finish. Go over this is, would it be awesome if Tomlin's first career year below 500 is with Rodgers?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be.
I think it would make me sad because I like Mike Tomlin so much, but
I think it's going to happen. Again, the ceiling for Pittsburgh, listen, we know what it is 10-7, lose a wild card game by 20, right? Like that's the ceiling.
The Browns. Lose to the Browns.
Yeah, maybe to the Browns, but more likely to like the Baltimore Buffalo non-bye recipient, which is tough.
It's gonna be Baltimore or Cleveland, or maybe just the chips fall right for Cincy and they stay healthy and somehow it all works.
That maybe, yeah.
Rodgers looks I read it as caked. I'm gonna say it as caked because that's how I read it the first time. Rodgers looks caked out of his mind in all his team picks. I don't know what's going on in his eyeball. I don't know if he's got something wrong with his eye, an infection or something. His eye is doing weird things right now. But he's been trash talking the Bears, which I appreciate.
Could be all that ayahuasca. I think everybody just clicked off, and we'll see you. There it is. We on the same page. 2 weeks in a row.
All right, the wheel is spinning. Jake, whichever team it lands on, you have to rank them 1 through 5.
Based on their
you don't know who the other 4 teams are going to be. You got to predict their finish.
I wanted the Giants because I knew where I was going to put them.
Okay, where is Houston going?
Houston was a part of this last year, may I say. I remember the 5 teams last year. Do you remember them?
The Rams.
Yep.
The Packers.
Yes.
The Texans.
Yep.
I don't remember the other 2.
Detroit and Pittsburgh. All playoff teams. So that was interesting. That was kind of wild. So the order wasn't totally off. I think I had Lions, Rams, Packers, Texans, Steelers, which isn't the worst. Packers would have obviously been behind Houston. They didn't win the division. Houston moved to the divisional round, but it wasn't bad. But Houston, I
forgot the Rams made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they were the one they pushed Philly to the limit the most. I'm going to put Houston at 3. I think they're a playoff team. Maybe they make a step forward this year past the divisional round, but I'm not totally sold. Will that get me in trouble? We'll see. It didn't last year. Last year I got some real nice luck on this wheel. Hashtag
it's
the
not
return.
rigged, I promise. The Packers. Where are you ranking the Packers this year?
No. Hashtag the return of Green Bay.
I know what you're doing.
Are we going to run it back?
That would be hilarious. I mean, we're 2 for 2.
We're going to get the other 3 teams. We have to restart this. Green Bay's riding on a lot. They need a lot of steps forward from a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. You know what? Just because I would love to come back here and get ridiculed, let's put him at 4.
That's where I thought you were putting him.
Here comes Cleveland or something.
Cleveland would be hard to rank. Hey, there you go. The Giants.
There's 5 for the folks. This is just not going to go well.
They're going to be competing for the number 1 overall.
I should have put Houston at 3rd. Second. I mean, dang it, this is not good.
Do you remember?
I'm going to get Carolina on this.
Who did I scream all last year? Was going to get the number 1 pick.
Tennessee.
I called that.
You
Nothing
did.
but
I was a year too early. Just a year early with my call last year. Because I do think that team is going to get it this time around.
All right. And we have the
Chiefs. Thank you so much.
You got it saved. Oh, it was almost the Seahawks.
Okay. I'm going to bank on something big here. I'm putting them at 2.
All right.
Cleveland Browns. Come on down.
This list could look really stupid in 1 second here.
It definitely could, but I'm banking on it being Buffalo or Philly.
You'd rank Buffalo ahead of the Chiefs?
Oh, it's Seattle. That's tough.
Brutal. You know what?
That's
You get what you
tough.
deserve. Because if you had put the Chiefs at 1 and the Seahawks at 2, I think it would have been.
No, I still think
somewhat
it would have been pretty
defensible.
bad either way. I needed to put Houston at 2. That was I said that at the beginning. That's tough. That's tough. Honestly, if Jalen Milroe cooks,
if
Jalen Milroe
Jalen
cooks as a
Milroe
rookie, I think it could happen. It's not gonna be Darnold. It's not gonna be Darnold. But if Jalen Milroe can cook, I honestly if JJ, if you were asking me to rank this, right? After seeing all the teams, how do you think I would rank this?
I think that the only change you would make is you probably would put the Seahawks either 3rd or 4th. I think that's the only change you'd make.
It is not the only change I make. I would put Seattle at 4. However, I think I would put Houston at 1, Kansas City at 2, and Green Bay at 3.
Interesting.
I think KC might be in for an interesting awakening this time around. They won a lot of close games last year.
Yeah.
That close game regression to the mean is going to happen. They're going to have to play better football. Left tackle, massive issue.
I think they will play better football. Patellar tendon left tackle. Both the Packers and the Chiefs last year had like hilariously horrible offenses. And it was not really super explainable why their offenses were playing so poorly. So, I mean, yeah, if you think it's going to be the exact same team running it back, then, yeah, you're going to regress to the mean. I think their offense is going to improve because I think both the Packers and Chiefs offenses had no excuses for being as bad as they were.
I just feel like the Chiefs have gotten worse on the offensive line. I think Kelsey, I just don't. Are we going to get some like resurrection this year in terms of the production? I don't see it. Now, maybe Rashee Rice takes that and he kind of becomes that, which I think is kind of their key. I think but that again means Worthy has to do more for them on the boundary. Are they going to be able to run it as well without Tooney? They don't have the 3 heads in the middle anymore. Are they going to be okay being able to do that? Do I love the defense? I love Spags, but I think there's some things I'm not loving right now about them. Where I would feel
Dershel says
more confident.
Super Bowl loser hangovers are real.
It is true.
We haven't seen that from the Chiefs, though. The Chiefs have been.
Unless you're the Chiefs or the Patriots, really. The last 20 years, it's not really. Yes, I agree. But other than that, like Philly loses to the Chiefs, and they just had an epic meltdown at the end of the season before, right? And San Francisco, injuries, contract stuff, all of that, right? The hangover certainly happened. McCaffrey going down did not help them. Ayuk going down did not help them. They lost a lot. So yes, it is doable. It is Chiefs though, but I would probably stick with that if I got to change them. Are you going JJ?
I am going to go, but I wanted you to weigh in. Should I? So we removed the 5 teams that you ranked. Should I respin the same wheel with those teams removed, or should I reset the wheel?
I think you should reset it.
All right. So I got to also reset my tier maker then. Oh, shoot. I got to do this. Let's see. Delete. I did something fun a day or two ago.
Okay.
I found a tier maker list that had every pro sports team and all of the FBS college teams as well, all in the same one. And so I did have to create a tier of who the heck is this, and it was mostly like the international soccer teams. There was like 30 logos. I had no idea what they were at all. And then there was also one weird yellow duck logo that I'd never seen before in my life. Other than that, I ranked everything else, and I had a lot of fun doing that.
Nice.
But it took me
that
for frickin' ever. It was
I was gonna say that's a lot. That's a lot of teams to go through.
Too older for this says being a Bears fan is a tier maker. No, Drew, it wasn't Oregon. It was
it's somebody
some
else.
other cartoon yellow duck. Jake, are you saying you think you know what it is?
I think so. Unless I'm losing my mind.
It's something crazy. Maybe it wasn't a duck. Maybe it was just a bird. I thought it was a duck.
Oh. Is it Southern Miss?
I don't see it on here.
It's not Southern Miss.
I mean, I guess I could go
It's
find
the Golden
same.
Eagles, I think.
It was like a cartoon, though.
Oh, wait a minute.
It was a yellow cartoon bird that was like twisted up and then angling like southwest. Like his beak was pointing southwest, and then his
he doesn't
feet
have a cape?
were pointing northeast.
No cape?
I don't remember a cape. What?
Oh, this isn't a bird though. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane has like an old logo that looks like it's got a little cyclone type of guy.
No, these were all current logos.
Oh, it could be the hens.
Not that.
The hens from Delaware.
No, aren't they blue hens?
Oh, they are the blue hens, but it still might be. That's pretty close. We're gonna find the tier list.
That's not it. Oh, it was a funny name. It was something like way too many teams or something like that.
Well, we'll think about it. I think you should make your picks with the blind wheel.
I call American sports. Lots of sports teams. This is the one. There's 269 teams to rank on here. Okay, this is the tier maker.
Whoa.
Oh, look, here is this thing right here.
What's that?
So he's pointing southeast. I don't know what that is. Let's zoom in.
What is that?
Oh,
gosh, that has to be football. No?
You would think.
It's gotta be, right? What is
And then I put the Florida Panthers in here because I found their logo annoying. So I do know what the Florida Panthers are, but I just found their logo annoying. So
their old logo's way better. Their old logo's so much better. Yeah, I don't know what that is, to be honest.
I think it's funny that my tiers are still in there. This one?
Yeah.
That is a way better logo. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that new one is trash.
Yeah.
This looks like a
Nala
logo. It does look like Nala.
Yeah.
Too old for this wants to know if this is a fish. I don't know what it is. There's a beak. There's a beak.
Maybe it is, but I don't know. Grok would probably know. JJ, while you're doing this, is there a team you're hoping to get as an easy pass? The Saints, the Titans, are you hoping for
I don't know about easy pass, but I would like to. You want me to use Grok for this? I can use Grok. I guess I don't want to use Grok. Grok doesn't know.
Whoa. Grok doesn't even know? It's tough. What logo is this, man? Help me. Incredible if they just don't. Oh my gosh.
ChatGPT doesn't know either.
Maybe.
CSU Bakersfield. No, because CSUB was on there already.
No, it is. That's what it is.
What?
I have it.
CSUB.
Yeah, that's it. That's our guy.
Wow.
That's our guy.
It makes a lot more sense when you get the full body. The
Yeah.
head doesn't quite do it
Yeah,
for
it
me.
looks weird. That's okay.
Somebody's gonna clip
There we
that
go.
and take it out of context. And I already
Yep,
hate
for sure.
Okay, is there a team I'm hoping to get? I would enjoy ranking the Packers.
Sure.
If you haven't noticed, I like to talk about the Packers. I have a lot of Packers opinions.
For sure. This is a Packers podcast, of course. Knew it was a Roadrunner. Nailed it. There we go. See, I thought he was talking.
I have
about
learned to trust Drew
something
when
else.
he says things.
Okay. Well,
All right.
have at it.
Spin this. So team one. Ooh, gotta mute this after this one because it does I think it does like a fireworks or something.
Lovely. We just talked about them. Where are they gonna go?
So that is tough. Come on, mute.
We should have done this with all of them. We should have blind ranked everyone.
Or
maybe even
32.
Maybe we should have done 10.
32.
Maybe we should have done 10.
I mean, we can expand it to 10. I can just expand this to 10 and then start with Miami.
Then I should get it. Then do I get a redo? Well, not a redo. I get an again.
Ask the chat.
32 team blind ranks would be fun.
Let the chat decide if you get a redo of.
We could do the together 32 team.
I feel like that's a whole episode.
That probably is. That probably is, Drew. I'm gonna star that. We'll get to that one. I like.
I kind of feel
right.
like
you've got some space
that would
for
need
Miami.
To be sponsored
now.
by some super chats, some donos.
There you go.
So Miami.
Where are we gonna put Miami with 10?
Yeah, 2 is the whole problem. But they're gonna keep playing him. I'm gonna put him at 6. It feels like a safe little cop out.
There you go. 6 it is for the Miami Dolphins.
Lets me disrespect next? Some other teams too.
Next?
Even the Bears.
Oh my gosh, Colts. He's gonna get Cleveland.
No, I got the Colts.
It's the Colts.
Who's their starter right now?
It's gonna be Daniel Jones, I think.
That's a 10. No, I'm gonna do 9 because
there could be a Saints lurking around. Yeah, but we gotta be careful.
I mean, there's a 1 in 3 chance that I'm gonna get the Giants. I'm gonna go 9 for the
Giants, Saints.
I don't really regret that.
No, I don't mind it at all.
2 over this says Miami doesn't have John or Ramsey anymore. They're trash.
Ooh, Houston making his appearance again.
Okay, I'm not as high.
Where will they go?
Houston as you.
Where will they go?
But I'll put them at 5.
My problem is Houston literally their competition is very funny in the division, especially if Jacksonville's bad again.
Yeah, like they're making the playoffs, but are they winning a game?
Saints. There you go. There's 10. Oh man,
I'm going 8.
Wow.
The Saints have made do with no quarterback for years.
No, they stink. They're terrible. No, you said 8. You said 8.
Is
you
their
said 8.
Defense crap.
You said 8. It's old.
I think the Saints can do better than the Colts. I don't think that's a high bar to clear. I mean, you might be talking about like 2 wins.
I feel like the team with the number 1 overall pick to get Arch Manning is at 8 right now.
Raiders. Gino is starting for the Raiders. This is Pete Carroll. I can't do anything other than 7.
Let Genty and Bowers cook.
Falcons. This is brutal.
That's tough. That's tough.
I don't believe
Houston.
in the Falcons,
Houston at 5, baby.
I gotta put the Falcons at 4. This is brutal.
It's not impossible, JJ. It's not impossible.
I mean, they're closer to 4 than they are to 10
for sure.
Like this is the only right answer.
It's not impossible.
Oh gosh!
Come on, do it to him. Do it to him. I'd do it. I would do it.
Yeah, but
I would do it. No fear.
Okay.
No fear. This is you have the Hall of Mid right now, pretty much.
It really is. I mean,
This
that's
is
my one
crazy.
saving
I
grace.
love that though. I love that
4
take
through
right
9
there.
is a bunch of mid, and then me doubting the Texans a bit. But I don't actually doubt the Texans that much.
I love this.
I don't doubt the Texans that much. It's a bunch of mid, and then maybe a bad season for Texans, and then
I love this right
not
now.
doing too bad.
I love this. I love New England, man.
Chargers.
I mean, for this list, I
think the Chargers can finish better than anybody here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's not too hard to do.
No. This is working out pretty nicely.
Okay, now I'm terrified though, because watch me get.
Wait, you have 1 in 10. Oh my gosh.
I got 1 in 10 left. That's it.
Well, I mean, odds are you're gonna get. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
See, and this stinks because it doesn't even let me talk about the Packers.
Who's
It
gonna
doesn't
be
even let me
10,
talk about
baby?
the Packers. I just had to pick either 1 or 10. I'm not tweeting this one out.
Yes, you must. You must. Oh, do it to him.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. Oh my.
So I'm saved by a pixel. I got the Jets.
Wow. I mean,
Saved.
again, I don't think this is bad at all. Hey, this is what happened to me. This is what happened to me last year. Where I literally called it. I said we did the ranking the team of the record prediction, right, JJ? And then we did what are they going to be in 3 years? And you were like, wow, you put Houston at 2. And then I said, well, I'm just waiting for the Chiefs to pop up. And then they popped up immediately next, which was incredible. So it was JJ's turn, guys. It was JJ's turn to get a little help from the wheel. I think my only qualms is I think maybe Vegas ends up better than the Patriots. But, like, again, it's a shame the Patriots do not have an offensive line, because if they did,
well, I also don't doubt the
they
Texans
could cook.
this much either.
No,
But Texans and Falcons and Patriots, they certainly could all be in the same tier. I think the Patriots have a rough road to the playoffs because they got Buffalo in that division, and I don't think that Miami
2 teams
is
lower.
Terrific.
2 teams lower. I think that AFC East rankings are correct. By the way, 100% correct. Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, 100%. That's correct. No notes.
I'm drawing a blank on who the Jets quarterback even is right now.
Justin Fields.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 10 is probably right for them.
I would probably push Indy up to 8, the Jets up to 9, or Jets and Saints 9, 10. I think.
All right, so the people voted to give you a shot at number 10,
redemption,
or at 10.
Honestly, for the content, I want this to be a horrible list. I want to get screwed over multiple times for the content.
I want us to be able to talk about the Packers. That would be freaking nice. All right, here we go. I got to remember to mute it.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I thought it was gonna stretch to Washington. It looked right on the line.
It was a pixel away. All right, we get the Raiders again. Where you going with the Raiders this time?
5.
All right, your next team is.
Can I get an easy one? Like give me a Baltimore or a.
You got LA.
Yes. 2. Yes.
Man, excellent. I'm not there. I'm
love
not
that.
there. I know you love
Puka,
but Stafford is still there. I'm not there.
Love that. Easy 2, maybe 1, depending on. Yeah, this isn't going to be 1.
Where are the Lions going for you now at 3?
I think I'm going to put them at 3 for now, as if I can move it later. I don't know why I said for now. 4 is a possibility depending on who else comes up, though.
Cardinals.
I want to believe.
In what? They don't have anything going for them.
But I may not believe in this team. I'm gonna go 7.
Okay, that's where I want to put him too.
I want to in McBride.
They got a okay offensive line.
Why? Why are you doing this to me?
Vikings with the 5th pick.
Oh man.
Come on, there's the obvious spot to stick them.
6. We're going 6.
Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah, we got to go 8. We're gonna have to do it to him. All right, can I get Baltimore or Buffalo, please, so I can just put them at 1 and we can call it a day? It's not gonna happen, folks.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Green Bay.
It's the Steelers by a
It's
pixel.
9. It's 9. Honestly, I couldn't find.
All right, you have 1, 4, and 10 left.
JJ, I've almost done what you did. I should have put the Rams at 1. I'm such a dumb. Please. Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore. No. Well, I guess we're 1 and 10ing this sucker.
It's brutal, isn't it?
What could go wrong, folks? What could go wrong? What could go wrong here? Philly, Buffalo.
Cincy.
You have to be kidding. Well, they're not going to be worse than Pittsburgh, Dallas, Arizona. Let's do it.
Bengals to 1.
Yeah, let's do it.
I can't wait, please.
What could go wrong?
Give me the Ravens. Give me
This
the
would be
Ravens.
Baltimore. I know it is. This is going to be
Ravens.
Baltimore. It's going to be Philly. Okay, it's going to be neither of those. Colts. Yes.
Oh, you're
Yes.
saved by the bell.
Yes.
Insane.
All right, let's see.
All right, we got
Let's see
1
about
through 10.
this.
Bengals, Rams, Lions, Falcons, Raiders, Vikings, Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Colts. There's a lot of mid in the NFL right now. That's for sure. Actually, you kind of got more suck than mid. I kind of want to do one
love
more
this.
5.
I
just to
actually-
see if we can start getting
Whoa.
some good teams.
He
What?
flipped my list. You
I'm just
flipped
deleting
Minnesota and Arizona on me.
So
No, I like that. I actually like that. I think this would fall into the Bengals. Everything falls right, as you were talking about earlier.
like it's a narrow path. I would
It
say
is.
it's narrower than like the Packers path.
Yeah.
But like both of them have the narrow paths.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more 5-man. We have to agree where to put them.
Oh.
We'll just hope we get some good teams. I'd like to
Okay.
get some good teams.
Yes.
There we go. Ravens. I'm gonna say it's tough because you know all these sucky teams are in there.
I think this is easy for me.
1. It's probably 1.
I think so.
1 or 2.
Yeah, I think so.
It's either 1 or 2. There's nothing else.
I think though my thing is I think I could justify like having pretty much anybody below them. What I can't justify is having to put like Jacksonville at 1 because we didn't get who we wanted at 1. Oh, did you remove?
Well,
him?
it's also tough because there's not a lot of teams I would put ahead of Baltimore. Like,
That's what I mean. Like, I
I
think
think Tampa. I think Kansas City is defensible.
I don't think I'd put
Maybe
anybody above
Philly.
because I think
That's
like
probably
Baltimore Philly the game was exactly what I expected. It was tight. I wanted that Super Bowl because I thought it was going to be like a really good. Like we were going to get a great matchup again. I think it's defensible to put Baltimore above Philly. I think it's defensible to put Baltimore above everybody. So I don't think there's anybody that I'm getting where I'm going to regret putting Baltimore at 1.
Do you think San Francisco is going to be good this year? Yes or no?
What would we say? Good.
One word
is?
answer. One answer. One word answer. Yes or no?
Good.
Good.
No.
All right. So our number
good
2
is a
team is
stretch.
Atlanta. I kind of
Oops,
want
all
to put them lower.
birds.
Where do you think the Falcons belong?
I'm looking at what else is there right now. I'm trying to decide if. Don't forget to remove them because I think Baltimore's still on there.
Oh, they're still on there. You're right.
That's okay. If we get Baltimore again, we just respin. Unless you can remove them. But I'm guessing.
Well, I can't. I can't try removing it
tough.
until we rank Atlanta.
Okay. My issue is if you have Atlanta, right, and you say you get Miami and like Seattle.
I don't have a problem putting either one of those teams ahead of Atlanta.
Okay.
Though.
Oh, okay.
Like I think they're kind of in the same tier of like wild card, right?
Yeah.
Like a tier behind where the Packers would be.
Oh, Atlanta?
Yeah, like they're a tier behind the Packers.
Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely.
Drew says 4 is too
low.
low. There are too many bad teams.
But on the upside, like, are you Houston or Atlanta? Houston, right? Chargers or Atlanta? Chargers.
No, I mean all three of those are pretty close for me. Like I would put Houston and the Chargers ahead of the Falcons, but I wouldn't be like gut punched if I had to on this blind ranking. If I had them flip flopped, I wouldn't be gut punched.
Yeah, I'm
the
fine.
Chat certainly wants.
What's your gut? What do you want them at 3?
Well, my gut is 4, but the chat.
I think you should do your. I think you should.
3.
I think I pushed you for Baltimore at 1. I think you could make the call for Atlanta at 4. The chat could be right. The chat could be right. But that's the luck of the draw. That's the luck of the draw.
Yeah, 1 and 4 feels okay.
Yeah, I think we're fine. Like if we get Green Bay, like it's going to be perfect. Okay, well this is interesting now. Okay, well
yeah, I already wish we had put the Falcons at 3.
Yeah, I think they got to go 3.
Niners at 3. All right,
I'm fine with that. You just give.
I just hope they're not good.
I really wanted Tampa. Well, there we go. Okay.
Seattle. So Seattle's going at 2, right?
For me, no.
2 or 5.
Not a chance.
You're putting Seattle at 5?
Yeah. I think for reasons. The reason is Kevin O'Connell, QB whisperer. He's not coming with him.
Who's the offensive coordinator for Seattle this year?
It's Clint Kubiak, who was in New Orleans. Who did some good stuff.
Seattle 5.
Who did some good stuff, but I feel like I know he didn't get help with the injuries, but I did feel like there was not as much of an adjustment.
All right. You know what? And it's kind of just like JSN and nobody. Like their offensive line is okay. It's not bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
Final team is the
Saints. Really unfortunate. We were close to Carolina and Washington. It would have been perfect. It's tough.
Wait, you'd be okay with Carolina at 2?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Are you a big Bryce Young believer now?
Now? Always.
You always were?
Always for Bryce Young. And now he's got Tet. So we're cooking.
I like that this is a list of pretty different teams than what we had last time.
We did get 3 birds on there. Was hoping we get all 5.
We got 3 birds and 4 NFC teams.
I was hoping we were going to get all 5 birds.
Drew says Jake needs to tweet this one out.
Okay.
All right, Jake.
Send that screenshot over.
I'll DM you the screenshot.
Perfect.
You got to tweet it, and then chat, you got to retweet this.
I shall.
Retweet this with some embarrassing comments for
sure.
Jake.
As you should. As you should.
Hashtag Ed Policy Day.
Yes.
So I do have something else.
Hashtag Ed Policy Rankings Day.
Policy Rankings Day, sponsored by State Farm.
Yes.
Jake, I do have something else I wanted to do with you. So I polled our listeners and my Twitter following and asked them to rate each of our defensive tackles and our cornerbacks. Because, I've been
that's interesting.
Nothing short of brutal to those 2 groups on this podcast for the last month and a half or longer. and I wanted a gut check. I wanted to see where the listeners are at. See if maybe I'm just way out over my skis. And obviously, the top guy that I wanted to gut check this opinion on, Kenny Clark. I wanted to see if the fan base thinks I'm a nut job. So I had Devontae Wyatt was the first player on here.
Sure.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the options. So on each one of these options, there's a I don't know, just see results option. So the percentages are not going to add up to 100, and I'm going to give you the other options.
Okay.
And I want you, for each of these players, to tell me which option the fans picked.
I need
and which option
seconds.
you would pick.
I need 30 seconds to step away. So if you want to give the chat a few of those options quick, and let me pop off for 30 seconds, and I will be right back.
Okay. I don't understand this question, Drew.
All right. 30 seconds, folks.
So
it's a live show.
Go ahead. Drew says, is Ghost on the list of YouTube affiliates that you can sell products for? I don't have any idea. No idea what that means. I'm guessing this is over on Jake's more exciting channel. YouTube has affiliates. I would be surprised if Ghost is on there. I mean, redacted. We don't say the name on here. So by the way, if you want the screenshot that Jake is going to tweet out of his 5-person or his 5-team ranking list that you guys need to retweet. He's on X at Jake NFL Draft. So he hasn't tweeted it yet, but he will probably after the show ends. Go ahead and retweet it with an embarrassing comment and try and get people to think that he actually thinks that. Tool for this says, what's I'm not gonna say this word. I only know redacted. It's a great comment. All right, so I was kind of chuckling when I put together this defensive tackle list for people to react to on Twitter because there's just so few bodies on the roster. Like I did the defensive tackles and the cornerbacks, and we had like a full healthy room of bodies in the cornerback room to react to. Really wasn't a problem. And then defensive tackle was like the shortest list ever. So for each of these, the first couple guys who are actually going to be kind of more in the rotation, the options that I included were great/elite, dependable, or liability. And then for some of the guys who we have kind of seen a lot and we kind of have never seen anything good from them, I just removed the great/elite and just only let people vote on dependable versus liability. And then for the guys we haven't seen at all, the options were like, what do you think they're going to be for 2025? Either playable on defense or not playable on defense. Those were the only options.
All right.
Drew says, I still love the redacted branding. That should be a legit company. I have thought several times about, oh, nice. I like the little jacket on that.
Yes, it's a little jacket, folks. Things you love to see.
I've thought.
Although I did show the brand, which is a tough one.
Energy drink.
Yeah, I did show the brand. That was tough.
Rookie mistake.
But that's the way
we do promote the Packers brand everywhere, but that's because we're catering to. We are sucking up to Packers fans, except for Packers fans.
Really good. I haven't had that yet. That's so good. Wow. Okay.
Jake, are you coming to my birthday party?
When's that?
It's this coming week. It's
this week?
Well, July 9th and 10th is the birthday celebrations. The actual birthday is on the 10th, and I'm doing bonfire night on the 9th, Wednesday.
Okay. Let me get back to you on that, since it's midweek. And I'm a state or two away.
I don't see what the big deal is. Just bop over. It'll be a good time. I'm turning 30.
That's a pretty big one to get to.
You only get to turn 30
I'll let you know.
a couple times. Drew said you should. None of us were invited.
None of us. Never know.
12
Maybe
of
the
the
invite's coming still.
For Loco this week. I felt it, but boy, was it good.
I've never tried
I
that.
thought it was good. I mean, I don't. Okay, I don't
flavors?
loathe For Loco. It's not. I wouldn't say it's good.
I've never had one.
All right, so here we go, Jake. Starting with Devontae Wyatt, your options are great/elite, dependable, or liability. Devontae Wyatt. You have to tell me first what you think the fans voted. There were 81 votes. 81 votes.
Wow. Okay.
What do you think won, and what do you think the split was?
So there were all three options were there for the fans. Okay.
Yeah, option 1 was great/elite. Option 2 was dependable.
Okay.
Option 3 was liability.
Okay. If I were to guess the votes, I would guess 61% dependable. Leaves me with 39. I would say 22% liability and 17% great, excellent.
And then what would your answer be of those three?
I think as of this moment, I would go with dependable. I think a full healthy season of him is probably going to be in that highest tier. Once that happens, which I think it will, then we'll put him there. As of now,
understand
though,
that the question was not asking what has he been in the past. The question is,
Right.
what do you think he's going to be for 2025?
Then I would put him in.
As Packer fans, please give your opinion on the DT room for 2025. Let's start with Devontae Wyatt.
Okay. I think. Well, if we're going on what will he become, I would put great, excellent. Then, yeah.
Okay. Which is my answer as well. The fans only went 51% dependable. Is an intruder breaking into Jake's house? Hopefully they're just bringing cookies and not stealing his TV.
Just a really great timing to do some stuff that's going on behind me. I don't know why they're doing that, but whatever.
If you need to go, we can wrap this
up.
No.
It's not me. It's not me.
Okay.
It's not me. But great, excellent is what he can be. I think to this point, I would say dependable. So I don't know, but I would still put that for my guesses.
It has to be forward
terms
thinking,
of the poll. I would still put that for the terms of the poll because I don't think.
Okay.
I think for the poll, that's what I would still stick with.
Okay, so the fans said 51% dependable.
Okay.
39% great/elite.
Wow.
3.7% liability.
That's great. Good job, fans. I didn't believe in you enough. That's my fault. I will take the.
I'm gonna tell you what, man.
I did not think that was going to be the case.
I was surprised by the answers to these.
Well, that's good.
I think
fans
have
well
come
done.
around
Good job.
To my stances
well
on
done.
a lot of the players in here. Okay.
I love it.
So Kenny Clark was up next. So the question was, give your opinion of Kenny Clark for 2025.
Okay.
Great/elite, dependable, or liability. What do you think won?
I mean, I think liability wins, but I don't know if it wins by as much as it probably should win by. Is my guess. So I'm gonna guess the numbers here. I'm gonna say liability gets. I'm gonna say liability gets 52%.
Don't forget, each one of these does have a don't know, just see results option, so you don't have to try and get to 100%.
Oh,
basically, the further down the depth chart you get, the more that just see results option creeps up.
Okay.
For Kenny and Devontae, it was like 1 to 2% of just see results, and then for some of the other ones, it was like 17, 18, 19% for some of the depth guys.
Kenny Clark, man.
Great/elite, dependable, or liability. Which one won?
I mean, I think liability wins. I do.
Okay.
I don't think it wins by a lot. I'm gonna say liability gets like 53%. Would be my guess for liability. I think 53. I'm gonna go 38, 37. Say dependable, which leaves me for about 10%. 53, 37. Yeah. Leaves me about 10% that say elite, which makes no sense. But I have a feeling that that's what happened. So I went 53, 37, and 10.
You're not bad. It's 59 liability.
59. Okay.
27% dependable, 10%
Wow.
great/elite.
Okay.
So
not
it
bad.
was
So 98% used
more
on the vote, essentially, or 97 point whatever.
Yeah, more than half of, or no, more than twice as many people said liability as dependable.
Okay. You know, I would probably say again, I would put liability in there. I think he's over the hill. He's over the hill gang, for sure. So I think it's good the fans are seeing that. I think now 10% saying great elite. It's unfortunate, but that's where I landed in it, and I feel like we're gonna hang on. I feel like that's the fan base that likes to hang on to guys.
I think that 10% was my buddy Zach and his 15 burner accounts.
Well, it could be. Who's next?
Carl Brooks is up next.
Okay.
So I did give all three options again for this: great/elite, dependable, and liability. Which one do you think won?
I feel like there's not a negative opinion out there. So I feel like dependable probably wins this.
Dependable won.
Okay.
So then
I'm going to think about this.
Which had more? I feel like great/elite or liability? Which one was higher? 76% of the vote went to dependable.
Okay. That I buy that. I was probably going to say around 65 to 70. So that makes sense. Which one got more? Great or liability? You said 76% was dependable.
76%.
Okay, so it's going to be pretty close then. I feel like it's not a blowout because I think that
one of these almost doubled the other.
Almost doubled, really? Wow. Almost. Doubled.
It's small numbers, so
almost doubled. So like
we're
15 and
we're
9.
A point away from it being the double.
15 and 9. So 16 and 8 would be the double. So 15 and 9 would be my guess if it's close to the double. 15 to 9 then.
So it's 13 and 8.
13 and 8. Okay. Oh, so there were still a few percentage points of results then. Okay.
From here on out, we're going to start getting to the point where just see results is like a really large number.
Okay. I feel like that's
the last
fine.
one.
I think dependable player, yes. I do think then if he's in the dependable, then I think you have to put Wyatt in the great elite then. If he's going to win dependable by that much, especially. Again, I know that I think there's a lot of optimism, which I think is good. Carl Brooks, I think JJ's still leading that train. I am comfortably in car 3, ordering a little bit of tea and some honey on that train for Carl Brooks. I do think he needs to show more, though. I think we need to see more. This is going to be year 3 now.
He's still a tweener is the problem. Like he's
right. Well, there is
that's always going to be the problem.
Certainly.
And he doesn't offer much as a run stuffer. He's kind of a pure
two-hand swipe,
pass rushing defensive tackle. So there's that. He's a situational guy.
Okay.
Which is why I wish he was our DT4 instead of DT2 or 3. But you didn't answer whether you thought great/elite or liability won.
Oh, I think the fans have seemed to be optimists at this point, so I think great has to probably win that.
Yeah, great had 13%, liability had 8%, just the results had 2.
Yeah, I don't think I could consciously vote for either of those for him at this point. So I just don't think he's shown.
You'd vote liability for Carl Brooks?
No, I wouldn't vote either of those pollers. I think dependable has to be the vote.
Dependable, yeah.
Which then I think for me would be. I'm glad that you kind of said that for 2025 because I do think great elite is why it should be. Yeah.
So by the way, here's the purpose of me doing this poll.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of establish, hey, what does the fan base think as far as how many guys do we have in the room who are adequate? And through these first three, I feel like this is borderline not enough, depending on like where you land on Karl Brooks. Because the fans have spoken and they say Kenny Clark is not adequate. So to me, it comes down to, are you voting, Karl Brooks as your 3 is dependable, or is it Karl Brooks is dependable no matter what?
That's fair.
So,
and I think this is where it should be. As to
you need to have at least 3 defensive tackles who you can play. Minimum of 3 guys you can put out there and play.
Yeah.
So that means through the rest of this room, we're going to have to find one more. Let's see.
JJ,
let's see what's up next.
One. I don't understand, man.
Let's see what's up next. Colby Wooden. The only options I gave were dependable or liability.
Well, okay.
Which one do you think won? Dependable
liability wins for sure.
Liability.
Hold on.
What do you think? What do you think the split was?
I feel like the results might be higher on this. I feel like less of a people have an opinion.
Results was in second place.
Wow. Okay. Great. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, results is in second. So nobody wants to see nobody thinks dependable. Well, this has to be this has to be close to 2/3 then. Liability.
You think 2/3 liability? That's exactly
I think so.
66.7%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. If results is beating dependable, it would have had to be somewhere like that. Okay, it's good to know.
So you had 17 and 15% for results and dependable.
15. Okay.
All right. Next up, 6th round rookie
what are 15% doing?
Brinson.
What are 15% doing? Respectfully. Listen,
I think they're just resting on the laurels of the fact that he's a 4th round pick. So
I will say, Drew is saying I'm amazing at this game. I feel like JJ kind of hinted towards like he was surprised by the results, which to me means that I think a lot of our takes, which usually align in this front, are pretty much going to be realized in these. And I feel like that's why I'm getting a bit of a leg up on this. So I think on my iPod, that's good. That's clever.
Tool for this said, I feel like Jake has Twitter pulled up on his iPod. You're wrong because it's X and it's on his iPad, right?
There, yeah. It's the everything app on his on my Zune. No,
Warren Brinson.
Oh boy,
6th round rookie.
I mean,
here's the only options I gave.
Okay,
playable on defense for 2025 or not playable on defense in 2025. Which one do you think won?
Yikes. Well, I mean, not playable probably has to win, which is not good because this is like the 5th guy you've mentioned, and the 4th guy is,
I will say this one shocked me, especially because I saw the early results.
Yeah.
And then the final vote was not even close to the early results.
Okay, so give me. All right, I'm gonna say not playable is like 46%, and like playable's like 30, 38, 39, something like that. And then what does that?
You have the freaking app open on your phone or something?
I do not. No. I mean,
yeah, not playable is 46%.
Is it really? That's great.
Of course it is. Are you?
Wow.
You're not looking at it, really?
I'm not.
This is wild.
I'm not. Is that? It's on your Twitter? Can I go look at it now? No, we got a couple more.
Don't.
We have quarters. We still have quarters to do. Yeah,
we do. Okay. Yeah, and we still have some. Believe it or not, we have a couple DTs to get through still.
Oh, we probably just put Stackhouse on there too. Probably.
I put everybody on here.
Well, that's fair.
If you're a
people are gonna be like, he's looking over here
on our
he's
roster,
looking over here and looking at it. I'm not. I'm just
You usually are. Twitter is usually on that screen for you.
Twitter is. I will say Twitter is on this screen. Your Twitter is not on the screen. I am just catching up to see
rude.
if
I look at your Twitter all the
anybody's
time.
tweeting.
I don't know why you wouldn't look at mine. That's just mean.
All right, JJ wants me to cheat. All right, that's.
Which option was higher?
I'm giggling at all these Darren Waller tweets. I gotta say.
Playable on defense or results? Which one won?
This one, I feel like this one might be like 33, 33, 33. Like results is super, super high. Let's go a third for each of them.
Well, you already know that 46%
dead tie.
was not playable.
How much was? 43?
46%.
46.
Not playable was 46.
Oh, so we went 46 again. Wow. Okay.
No, this is still the same one.
Oh.
This is Warren Brinson.
Oh.
46%.
Okay.
And I was saying playable on defense versus results. Which one won?
Well, I think I said playable one, right? I said 46, 37, and like whatever the rest is, 17. Is that what's left?
Not playable was 46%.
Yeah, not playable 46, playable 37, and then whatever's left is our C results, I think.
It was almost a dead tie. It was like a percentage point off between
okay.
playable and results, but playable won.
Okay.
Well, it came in second over results.
Okay.
So Nazir Stackhouse was up next. It was 46 not playable, 27 playable, 25 and a half results.
Okay. That's fair.
Stackhouse. Nazir Stackhouse. Playable or not playable?
He's a UDFA. This could be like 62 not playable. What do I have 38 left.
I'll tell you, people
62, 20 for results, and then 18 for or no, is that wrong? No, wait. Yeah, 20 and 18. No, that's right. 62% not playable, 20 results, and then 18 playable is my guess for this one.
This was really split. 44 not playable. 30 just see results. 25 playable.
Wait, oh no. You said 27. Okay.
Yeah, 27% playable for Warren Brinson, 25% playable for Nazir Stackhouse. So apparently there's like 4 people out there who do believe in Warren Brinson but don't believe in Nazir Stackhouse. And otherwise, if you believe in one, you'll believe in
both. That's the draft pick thing. One was drafted, one wasn't, which should probably be on the flip side. I think it should be opposite, probably. UDFAs, man.
UDFAs
over picks
play more than the late day 3 picks, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it should be split.
So then we have Cameron Young, who we just brought in from the Seahawks. He was a 4th round pick or a 6th round pick? I forget. I think it was a 4th round pick a few years ago. Yeah. He basically didn't really play for the Seahawks. He was a draft pick. We picked him up recently. I think he didn't play in 2024.
I mean, logically, this not playable must be higher.
So, how many people? What do you think the percentage was of people who said playable?
It's got to be pretty low because, again, here's the logic, all right? Here's the logic. The logic is that this not playable should be much higher. But also, C results should be higher because I feel like most people don't know who this guy is. So I'm almost thinking C results might have won this poll. I'm going to go C results for like 58%. I'm going to C results. That leaves me at 42. I'm going to go 34 for the not playable and then 8% for the playable. That's what I'm going to do.
It was almost like 45-45 not playable in results.
Oh, wow.
It was 49 not playable, 43 results, 7 playable.
I mean, logically, based on these numbers, that makes sense because, again, a lot of people don't know the guy, which, to be fair, I didn't either. I had to go back and look. And again, if you're going to go up from the draft pick to the UDFA to the guy we've never heard of, that's probably the direction it's going to be. But I think corner is going to be much more interesting.
We have one more question here for defensive tackle. And this was there's 3 more defensive tackles on the roster. And so actually
Randolph, Esther, and there's one more.
James Esther.
Who's the other?
Nesta Jade Silvera is the last one.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I put those 3 guys and none as an option. And I said, which player has the highest likelihood of being able to play on defense for the Packers at any point in 2025?
Oh, no. Okay.
What answer do you think won? And what was the drop off from that answer to the second highest answer?
Let's see here. He just scrolled on his phone. Unfortunately, no, that's a text message saying, I didn't move anything too much in the house. I didn't move too much around. You're fine. Because I was complaining about it. No. Oh man. Okay. So there's 4 options.
Keith Randolph, Nesta Jade Silvera, James Esther, and none. Which option was highest, and what was the drop off from that to the second?
I mean, logically it should be none, but I bet the drop off's not big. So let's go 32% for none. Go about a third. A little under a third. I'm gonna go 25 for Randolph. That gives me a 57. I have 43 left. Give me 21 of that 43. No, 23 of the 43 for Esther, and then 20 for Silvera. So 31, 32, 25, 23, 20 is my guess.
None got 72% of the vote. Keith Randolph and James Esther were tied at 10.3% each.
Oh, boy.
Nesta Jade Silvera's mom voted for him, and that was it.
Okay, well, there we go.
So that's the defensive tackle room. So I would say we did not come up with 3 playable defensive tackles.
No, 2. It's not good. If you're doing
that's
math,
not good enough.
If you're doing math, it's not good at all.
It is not enough. I mean, I like basically the fan base unanimously agrees. Brian Gutekunst did not do enough to address defensive tackle for 2025.
In a great class to do so.
Let's turn our attention to cornerback.
Okay.
Nate Hobbs. The options are great/elite, dependable, or liability.
Okay. But is there a results tab?
There's a results for all these,
Okay.
Okay. The only exception is that at some point I did the same, like, pick between 3 guys or none.
Okay.
That's the only one.
Nate Hobbs. I think Dependable's going to win this. No, it's just a question by how much is it going to win.
What would your answer be?
I think Dependable's my answer.
Okay.
This is a plurality to me. This isn't winning it. There's no way I just don't feel like 60% went Dependable. Feels unlikely.
Okay. Hurry up.
I'm trying to put it together. I'm trying to think. All right, I'm going to give Dependable like 42.
What was higher, great/elite or liability?
I think liability's higher.
What was higher, great/elite or results?
Great/elite.
Great/elite brought up the rear with 6.3%.
Okay, wow. That's probably, I probably would have guessed double that.
Results
12.
did double that.
Wow. Okay.
Liability got 16%.
Wow. Okay.
That's higher than you want for your CV1. And dependable got exactly 2/3, 66.7%.
Wow. Did not think that was going to be the case. Okay.
Now we have Keyshawn Nixon.
Oh, no.
And I don't know why, but hardly anybody voted in this one.
Nobody wanted to.
It's a very small sample size.
It's a sensitive
wrote
topic.
it differently, though. I said, give your opinion of Keyshawn Nixon as a cornerback for 2025.
That's probably good.
What
you did that?
What answer won, and what would you pick?
I feel like dependable and liability are probably splitting the plurality of this vote, would be my guess. Both of those around 40% each, and then results narrowly beats great. Excellent.
66.7% dependable, 22% liability, 5.6% each for results and great/elite.
Okay.
But not many people voted in that one for some reason.
Okay.
Harrington Valentine.
I know what's happening.
Everybody voted on this. I will tell you, 0% went for just C results. I think this is the only one where that's the case.
I feel like liability's last on this. I think the opinions are high. Draft pick over signee and former kick returner. So let's put dependable in the 60s again, though. We'll keep it again for me. I think dependable is going to be in the 60s. Dependable at 63. And then let's go 19 and 18 for your great elite liability. Liability edges it out by 1.
Your logic is sound.
Based on what I've seen already.
9%.
What is
7.9%. 7.9% each for great/elite and liability.
Okay. So even more.
0 for results. So a whopping 84% went for dependable.
Wow.
Which I think is about where I would probably put him too. Like, I'd be waffling between dependable and liability, but I probably would go dependable.
So Valentine was the most dependable of the 3 in the polls, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Keyshawn and Hobbs both got 66%.
That's what I expect from the fans. Draft pick, and then the signees and the former kick returner. Like, yeah, kind of.
I'm fine with going dependable for all 3 of these guys.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with it. I'm not enthusiastically saying dependable, but I'm saying dependable.
No. Yeah, it's not dependable like those guys in the news, bits on some cartoons who like really, really, give it some juice. It's very much like, dependable. Sure. Kind of a very, very muted, dependable that comes out of your mouth almost.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's, exactly. It's not, hey, we added Trey Amos to the corner room, or, we added even somebody like West or Robinson, right? Like to the DT room. So,
you know how good I feel right now if we had Ty Robinson on this freaking roster? I'd feel fine. I think I would just be like, we're set.
Robinson plus pick your favorite nose tackle from the draft, and I feel like, boy, would we feel good right now. But
honestly, if you told me it was Robinson and Warren Brinson, I'd be like, whatever. We got Robinson. Whatever. I can live with it. We haven't really had great nose tackle play. Like
imagine Amos, West, and Robinson on this team. All 3.
Imagine Elgton, Savion, and we still have Jacob Monk from last year.
Sick.
So the next
cool.
guy I went with on here was Javon Bullard. The only options I gave were
you put him as
dependable
corner. Okay.
or liability. What do you think won?
I think dependable won, which based on the play of last year, it shouldn't win. I'll go 62-38. Just straight up.
Pretty good. 66-27.
Oh, yeah.
And then 5% for results.
Okay. Yeah. Seems about right.
And you would go liability there.
I don't. It's hard through one season to say either or. He's probably in between of like. We put him in developmental project tier for a reason. Because he had to wear multiple hats last year, and the majority of it wasn't good. If you're going for 2024, it's a liability. I would be a little more optimistic for 25 probably. But yeah, I don't.
I would vote.
I would fence
dependable for this poll.
I would probably fence it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, still second round rookie.
Man, our defensive ends better just play lights out this year. Defensive ends and safeties and linebackers, man, they're gonna have to be our defense, I guess. I sure feel better about our corners than I do about our defensive tackles, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And like, if Wyatt gets hurt, better give somebody a call.
Who would you rather try and live without? The turf monster is gonna grab either Rashan Gary or Devontae Wyatt. Who would you rather try and live without?
Oh my gosh. Probably Gary, which is an insane thing to say, but it's true. And like, this is coming from somebody who's not quite the believer in Van Ness either, but I feel like Hafley with Cox, with Enigbari, with Oliver, and even maybe Sorrell, like, can get more out of that than I think anybody's going to get out of a unit that doesn't have Wyatt on it. Like, that's just facts, unfortunately. Gosh, wouldn't it be so sick if Wyatt had somebody who was like, oh, yeah, I can match him, in the middle, and we can just go to work. Like, it would be so nice. And I think maybe some people think it's Carl Brooks based on the poll, which, great. If it happens, awesome. But there's just, I think it's very clearly Gary, unfortunately, which would suck because that's two big injuries in a relatively short span for him. So
the other thing that I have not talked about on here, I don't know why I've never brought this up. I was mega high on Carl Brooks, but never as a defensive tackle. I always liked him as a defensive end. I don't like him as a defensive tackle. I want him playing off the edge. Now, I loved Devontae Wyatt. Wyatt I had as like maybe the 11th best player in that draft class. I loved Devontae Wyatt. So glad we got him.
Is it 22?
It was 22.
Let me go find that while you keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanna find mine.
So we have Kalen King, dependable or liability.
Yeah, I had Wyatt right behind Davis. And as the best 3-tech in that draft by a mile. My third D-line in that draft was Travis Jones, who's doing a nice little job for himself as kind of a 1-tech in Baltimore. Wasn't a great draft. When you look up and down the board of the DTs. Was big for Green Bay to land Wyatt. It was. Because we had to try to talk ourselves into Matthew Butler, Thomas Booker, Neil Farrell Jr.
Yeah.
So
that would have been brutal.
It was imperative. Well, and there were the hybrid guys, right? Like the Logan Halls, the DeMarvin Leals, the Josh Pascals. But like, again, they weren't going to be truly playing where Wyatt was going to play. So it was not a great DT class. And hats off to Goody for saying, yeah, we got to go get one. We need one. Like, now. We're not.
I mean,
around.
I didn't like that he.
But then he didn't do it
passed
again.
on Wyatt to grab Quay.
Well, that's a problem. Yes, 100%. That was not smart at all. 100%.
Drew asks, is not drafting a DT highly a sign that we will use defensive ends as defensive tackles like Gary and Van Ness? No, it's not. It's a sign that the Packers are still operating under the delusion that Kenny Clark is god. He's still a top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL. That's all it is.
They're hoping
they
that
think
last
that they're
year
set
was a toe and a new scheme. That's what it was. That's what they're thinking. I just don't.
And they're just going to ignore the previous 2 years.
Yeah, I just don't like that bet. I think it's a silly bet.
Coach Len asks, can Wooden help us in the one tech? He's going to have to because there's nobody else.
We're going to have to go to Culver's 5 times a week to get there, period.
He's going to have to because there's nobody else. There's nobody else on the roster. Okay, Kalen King, dependable or liability?
I will say, they can do this on 3rd down, right? But it will not happen on early downs because this unit cannot. You can't use Gary or Van Ness at a D tackle spot on early downs. You will get pushed around by Philly. You will get pushed around by Detroit week 1. I don't care that their interior O-line is a major question. They're still going to push you around with that setup. That they can't do that on early downs. Can they do it on late downs? Sure, but at that point, like, I would also still rather have, the guys who are coming off the edge like Gary and Van Ness who can create like they can. But yeah, it's a tricky spot. It's not great. So
Drew says they'll bet on Kenny Clark but not Jaire. I mean, I
can I get an amen?
I would think that the correct answer on paper is to bet on neither one.
Probably not.
I would have been happier
betting on
Jaire than Kenny.
For sure.
Jake, do you just not want to talk about Kalen King?
No, we can. Let's do it.
Kalen King, dependable or liability? Which one?
Liability.
What was the split?
Go 65-35. It's probably higher, honestly, now that I think about it.
So there was a 35 in there, but that was for results.
Sure. That's what I meant. There was 0% dependable. That's what I meant, for sure.
Was dependable over or below 10%?
Should be below. It better not be over.
11.8.
Adam
says Kenny has been able to play
in the
through
7th,
injury,
bro,
and Jaire hasn't. Kenny can't
the problem
play
is
through
Kenny shouldn't be doing
mild
fatigue. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing that, Kenny.
He can't play through mild
fatigue.
Respect
for trying, but don't do it. Respect for trying.
He just stands there with his hands on his hips and watches other guys play. Like, I'm sorry, if you're too hurt to continue the play, then let's put you on IR. Let you rest up.
Yeah.
Like the rant I've gone on 50 times about 2022 Aaron Rodgers. Dude, if your hand is so messed up that you can't throw the football accurately, then let's put you on IR.
Yeah, right.
Either you suck or you need to go on IR. So which is it? Because we have another quarterback who can play. We have another first-round quarterback who's been sitting here for a few years, is ready to play. We've seen him play against the Eagles. He's ready. So why are you still out there? Why doesn't our coach have the fortitude, cojones, to put you on IR? You already hate Goody.
Yeah,
Goody,
I know.
put him on IR.
Yeah.
That's your call. It's not Aaron's call whether he goes on IR or
this
not.
Brings me back to one of my Moneyball, one of the movies that made my list, where he just walks in there and said, "No, he's not playing first base. I've traded him." Okay, like we're not. So I know I walk in, I'm putting him on IR, buddy. Okay, sorry, Aaron can't play today. He's on IR. 100%.
You're gonna have to take that up with Roger Goodell because he's gonna need to have some sort of an exemption from the commissioner to get taken off the IR list.
Yeah.
Drew says, I don't want to hear about injuries when it's been like 3 years since he was good. Amen. But Twitter didn't want to hear about that last year because he got 5 sacks. He played 5 snaps that whole year that were good. at least 5.
That's the problem.
So that's how you know he's good.
Love the sacks, even though they're not all created the same. We still haven't learned that, by the way.
So we got 53% liability for Kalen King, 11.8% dependable, 35% results. 7th round rookie Micah Robinson. The options were playable on defense in 2025 or not playable on defense.
And results.
What do you think the split was?
Were there were results?
Yeah.
Okay. Results. Yes, exactly. Such is the problem. I remember.
You think results won?
No, I think results probably got second though. I think
yes.
Not playable on defense got 55. Results got like 30, and then we got 15 for playable. Let's do that.
Results and playable tied at 17.6. Not playable got 64.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
So next up was Kamal Hadden. Now, the reason I ranked Kamal Hadden next is because he got name dropped by Goody recently. And I think that this played into the fact that this was a 3-way tie.
Whoa.
Kamal Hadden was essentially within a percentage point, basically, of a 3-way tie.
Wow.
Just the results technically won, but it was basically a 3-way tie.
But okay. Wow.
So, look, the GM name dropping you as a guy who's going to be in the mix as CB3 or 4. Sure. I'll go with that.
Hey.
So I would have gone and see results as well, actually. That would have been my vote. I'm not going not play on defense.
Did the name drop affect you in this poll? Yes, no.
I don't know how it couldn't. Basically, did you hear about the name drop or not?
Did you hear about? Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
So last question was, which corner do you believe has the highest likelihood of contributing on defense for the Packers in 2025? Gregory Jr., Isaiah Dunn, Tyron Herring, or none?
Well, none probably won. Let's see if I can pick out who won.
None got 61% of the vote.
Give me number 1. Gregory Jr. Let's go Gregory Jr.
Okay. Who do you think?
I think Dunn got last.
He did.
Okay.
Tyron Herring and Gregory Jr. tied with 15.4.
Wow. Okay.
Isaiah Dunn's mom voted for him.
Dang. Okay. Sure. All right. Feel pretty good about that.
So I kind of think that where we're at with corner is okay, but not great. I think maybe you're kind of banking on maybe there's not a weak link. If you got Valentine and Hobbs and Nixon and potentially Bullard or somebody else out there as well, there's not really a weak link to pick on. You're going to be in trouble if you go up against Justin Jefferson.
Sure.
You're going to be in trouble if you go up against Amon-Ra St. Brown or any of Malik Neighbors, any of the good
Philly duo
wide receivers out there.
Yeah.
But it's probably good enough that if the offense can put up points, which they freaking couldn't last year.
Cincinnati might be tough.
I think if the offense can get like in the mid to high 20s, I think the cornerbacks won't be the reason that you lose that game.
Probably not. It's probably going to be that the quarterback had, 8 seconds because Devontae Wyatt needed a break from his 100% snap count, and nobody else is getting home.
Bold of you to assume that they're going to throw the ball at all.
Well, there is also that.
They can just run it at Kenny or whoever's not playing.
See, in this scenario, I was assuming Edgerrin Cooper got a TFL and got super hyped. And we're back.
I mean, our linebackers are going to have to be perfect.
I'm ready. I'm ready for Quay and Coop.
Our linebackers are going to have to be perfect all year.
I'm ready
for this defense to.
You say Tyron Hopper will have to contribute for this team?
I mean, heck, we can put Tyron Hopper at defensive tackle. There's options that I hate worse than that. There's options I hate worse than that.
That's interesting. Should float that by Goody in a press conference, I think. Hey, like, what do you think about this?
Goody, I'm trying to reconcile a couple of things that don't really make sense. One is Tyron Hopper's place on the roster. Two is the fact that you don't have any defensive tackles. Is Hopper going to play defensive tackle?
Could Sorrell play D tackle? Yeah.
What if? Okay, I'm not saying I want to do.
Could Sean Ryan play D tackle?
Why not? Why not?
Makes you think. If we're flipping Bo Melton around to try to play corner,
could Jordan Morgan play D tackle?
Does he have that? Does he have that edge? Does he play with enough edge? Maybe a little bit. Belton play D tackle. Belton would be a nightmare, I think, to play against a D tackle if he wasn't so tall.
Did you see the video of NFL offensive lineman going up against a UFC fighter this week?
No.
That was making the rounds?
No.
I got to find the... I think I can find the clip somewhere. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It was very satisfying.
I like it.
Drew said if the Bears had Sean Ryan, he'd be their fullback. He might be their quarterback.
He might have to play any spot on the... He'd probably have to play tackle for them, honestly.
He probably would have to play tackle for them.
So...
All right, Jake, you had a surprise for us. I think it's time for your surprise.
Okay. Well, you know, I was sort of thinking, like, what could we do to, like, celebrate, you know, Ed Policy Day in, like, the best way possible? Like, how could we, like, have a big time celebration on the show for the people? You know, that's what I was trying to come up with this week, because you said you were putting together something, and I thought, you know, that sounds fun. Can we get, like, an intro to the show? Could we add a little bit of something? Or
is this music coming from you?
It is. Can we close out the show? Oh my gosh. Can we close out the show with an absolute banger?
Love this.
Can we do it? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This is beautiful. Stop doing that.
May I say, party all week long, folks. Ed Policy Day, make it a week. July 4th, go nuts. That's all I'm going to say. We can close it out right there.
Go Pack, go. Oh, this is beautiful.
We might have to put a warning on this thing. But it's fine.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us for a full year of celebrating this beautiful man, Ed Policy, and the Green Bay Packers. It's just so much fun. We'll do it again next year. Until next week.
I think we got to let it drop again.
Is it coming around again?
I think so. But I wanted to make sure it got to the first, I think 57 seconds it drops the first time. And so I wanted to make sure I could I'm pretty sure it's going to drop again. So we got to do it one more time for our guy.
I'm down for it.
Oh my gosh.
The word. The late great Mr. Ed Policy. Love you guys. Happy Ed Policy Day. Go Pack, go. We're going to get a copyright strike for this song.